All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again back to MaxSpeedTV. We've had several broadcasts here tonight, but we are here for the last one of the night. We'll probably trickle into the morning, but, you know, that is just part of the game. We don't mind here at all, so we are getting this thing started right. So let's go through all the sponsors here and what we like to refer to as MaxSpeedTV After Hours. Starting with all the sponsors here from MaxSpeedTV. We do, of course, have Walls of Beard Co. All your beard products they have them. Check them out at wallsbeardco.com. SimSpeedShop.com. Make sure you check these guys out for some great button boxes as well as some terrific e-brakes for those rallycross races. HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. Again, make sure you check them out for all your web hosting needs and PC repair as well. If you mention MaxSpeedTV, you can get 1 month free, and they'll also waive all your fees to get started. Elite 7 Racing, they are the official dirt team of MaxSpeedTV, so make sure you check them out at elite7racing.com. Ohio IndyCar League, again, they came on not long ago, but they are here to stay, and we also broadcast their league. They are no longer just Ohio club members allowed in. They have opened that up, so make sure you check them out at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. And just coming on last night, yesterday afternoon, somewhere in that time frame, is Jason Allison from iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Again, make sure you check these guys out. They have some great graphics if you're looking to get into broadcasting or just need some graphics to stream with. They can hook you up with that. On to the racing side of things, we have, of course, one of the two divisions of Highway Equipment Company, that is Highway. So they are the one of them, of course, and you cannot forget New Leader. Both of these can be found at highwayequipment.com. Make sure you check them out on Facebook as well, and let them know a big thank you for what they do here for this league. They definitely are the title sponsor, putting up all the bills to get this broadcast to you. And of course, on this side, Walls Beard Co. Again, make sure you check them out. They have some great beard products, some organic stuff, so make sure you check them out at wallsbeardco.com. That being said, that is all the sponsors here for tonight. So this is the Northwest Xfinity. This is the Precision Application 120 presented by Highway Equipment Company. As always, I am Charles on the mic, and here with me in the booth is our normal KR Stolfus. So welcome to the booth once again, KR.
Man, did you just call me normal?
Well, as normal can get.
Well, I'm glad to be here, Charles. Once again, thank you for having me. And we're here at another short track, Richmond, and this is going to be a fun race tonight.
It is indeed, and it looks like Jeff Stabnow just making it in. He was caught at work, but he is going to be here last minute, but good to see him in. As we're up to 15 drivers, a little bit lower car count here tonight, but this could be, you know, a good thing in a way. It's, you want to have as many cars as you can get, obviously. But, you know, with this lower car count here, it is a smaller track, so you're not going to notice it as much as you would, say, somewhere like Talladega. It will still look like a pretty full field here, and we may, with just 15 cars, have 1 to 0 cautions. That would be awesome to see a caution-free race here at Richmond Raceway.
If we saw a caution-free race here, that would mean a lot of green flag stops. And here at Richmond, it's kind of hard to get onto pit road, so that's going to make for some interesting situations. But at the same time, could also bring out the yellow. So, I don't know. That's a tough call to make there, Charles.
It is, and anything can happen here. We were talking to some of these drivers earlier down there in the pits, and they were saying, you know, this isn't the best setup. They've kind of got spoiled from working with the league in their little test sessions and tuning in their workshops with the trucks, so they've gotten spoiled to those really nice setups. But they were saying this one here, as far as fixed setup that iRacing gives them, isn't too terribly bad. So a better setup compared to some that they have raced in the past. So that too could play into some green flag racing here tonight. time will tell how that's going to play itself out, but anything could go. It is racing, and it is a full contact sport. And again, you never know what's going to happen until the green flag drops.
Yeah, once that green flag flies, all bets are off. We can sit here and speculate for the next 20 minutes, but it won't get us anywhere, because as soon as that green flag flies, these guys are going to see that red mist in front of their eyes, and the fingernails and the blood and everything starts flowing, and someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah, and hopefully not too many people get hurt, but again, it's so interesting here. We've been looking forward to this race, or I have anyway, for all week. I love coming here to Richmond. Just got doing the race corps was here this week as well, so or not race corps, my bad. My own league. You'd think I know that. The short track series, the trucks were here, so this is a very fun track. As you can see, looking here at the camera angle we have, you can actually see the entire track nearly in one camera angle. That goes to show you just the different shape of this track compared to most. It's smaller. You look at a camera at Talladega, you can't see but a little section. Here you can literally see nearly the entire track from the corners of the turns. So it's just interesting, the design of this particular track.
It's officially labeled as 3/4 of a mile with 4 turns, but man, that front stretch is one big, long, sweeping turn, and you really send you off into turn 1.
Yeah, it really can. I personally think it's more of a, kind of like a half bigger Bristol with a little bit of an egg shape on one end. It's really weird. It's a real weird track, but it does make for some great racing. So that will be coming up here in about 13 minutes or so. So we have a minute here while they're getting ready. We might just have you pick some random person, see if we can't get a quick driver interview just to see what they think of the track.
Well, I'm trying to decide who to talk to. Haven't really made a good decision yet so far tonight. So let's go with this guy. Hey James, this is Charles and KR up in the broadcast booth. Got your ears on? See?
We have been James been working on getting his radio there working, but so he may not be able to hear.
I couldn't.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, guys. My volume is still having issues. The engine's too loud.
Oh, well, just kind of curious real fast while we have you just for a minute to get your thoughts on this track. We were talking about how it's a little bit different than most tracks, and this setup being a fixed setup. Just your thoughts in general of the setup in this track here tonight.
Well, being a bold-faced greenhorn, this is tough because I got to learn it. The line and the lack of banking and where the best places to run are at the same time as trying not to hit a bunch of guys. And so far, my opinion of this track is it's pretty dang tough.
Well, it definitely is probably one of the tougher tracks out there. Like we're talking about, just the sheer shape. It's kind of like a Bristol with a egg shape on one on one side of it. So it's bigger. It's just a really weird shape. In your opinion, is there one corner, either one and two, or 3 or 4, or is it the little triangle-y area in the middle that is kind of more of a problem child? That's the harder spot, or is it pretty even all around?
Well, I think there's going to be some Darlington stripes going down that front stretch tonight. Going into the first turn is pretty treacherous if you start sliding the front end. So those two are going to be where I'm looking for trouble, or just stay out of trouble.
Well, definitely, we hope everyone here stays out of trouble. We have a lower car count, only 15, so that could play into some green flag racing. We were hearing earlier Fuels are going to be around 85 to 90 laps, somewhere in there. But tires, 15 to 20 laps before these tires are falling off. They don't have as much speed in them. You're going to want tires. So as far as your assessment of that, would that be about what you're thinking too? Or which strategy are you going to try to shoot for, fuel or tires here tonight?
Oh, for sure, tires. I was just in the middle of a run that I'm hitting about 18 laps right now, and I'm doing everything I can just to stay. My last lap was 23.7, so that's quite a drop from 22.0. I haven't gone to 21 yet.
Definitely some fall off, but we don't want to keep you here. We'll let you get back there. You got about 9 minutes left. Any quick shout outs you want to give before we let you get back down to the pits?
Not that I can think of right now, because this is my first time doing all of this. This is just really awesome technology we're using, so thanks to iRacing, I guess.
All right, well, yeah, big shout out to iRacing for getting us this software to let us hear. But we'll get you back down to the pits so you can get some last minute practice in, and with any luck, we'll see you here in the top 3 post race show after the race.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, well, there you go. You have it from James's point, the 51. That is Dalziel there, James Dalziel. Putting his perspective on this. We got about 8 minutes left here before we get everything started, so we do want to run through the points real fast. Here, we'll pull those up for you here on the screen. Again, this is different here. I'm not even sure, Cal, we haven't discussed it a whole lot here, but, we're looking at the point standings, but this isn't necessarily how they're going to play out. They do have a drop week. I believe they actually have 2 drop weeks here in the Xfinity series. So we here in, I believe it's 2 weeks, we go to the playoffs, and only the top 8 in points make it.
Yeah, and you mentioned drop weeks, and for those of you who don't know, a drop week is essentially where your lowest scoring week is not counted. And the reason why we do that here in the sim world is we all know this isn't exactly real life, although some people do get it confused. But, work gets in the way, life gets in the way. So what these leagues often do is they'll allow a grace period of, say, a week or 2 or a few races where the points necessarily won't count for you. And it's not anything bad. I enjoy drop weeks. I think it's a great part to have. It doesn't really hurt anyone, and it only benefits everybody. So I'm a big fan of drop weeks, and glad that the Northwest Series has them.
Yeah, definitely it does help everyone, as you can see the point standings there. Not necessarily how they're going to be. But in about 2 weeks' time, we will go through these officially and let you know who's in and who's out. Obviously, you'll know by the points, because those point standings will go up significantly. They'll add, I think it's like 1,000 points to the ones that are in the actual points race. So you will definitely know who's in and who's out. We'll start with 6 or 8, then we'll go to 6, and then 4. We will have a championship 4 for the very last race, just like NASCAR does. So that is how the playoffs are gonna work. We got about 6 minutes here. Let's see. See if we can't pull Jeff up here real fast before he has to do any meetings, and see if he got any practice in. Jeff, you got a copy?
I got you there, Charles.
Well, you see, you did make it here, so we want to get a quick word in here before you have to do any driver's meeting or anything like that. So we know you practiced throughout the week, but you rushed home from work. You got here. You're now behind the wheel again, but this time for more fun than it is work. So, coming right from there, have you had a chance to calm down and just sit in there and relax, or are you still wound up from the work and then having to drive home, or you just relax now, ready to race?
Well, there's not much we can do. I got about 8 laps of practice in on this car and this track right now, so gonna be pretty rough here to start off. This is always one of those tracks where you gotta figure out how to brake and not overdrive it getting into the corners. So I still need to figure that out. I would imagine I'll be a little slow here to start out, and hopefully I can figure it out as the race goes on.
Well, it looks like, you know, I don't know if I'd call you slow. You're sixth fastest right now with a 592. So, you know, 8 laps and you're sixth fastest. That ain't bad odds coming into the race. So you stand a good chance here. Again, anything's possible. We're probably counting on a lot of green flag racing. At least that's my opinion here. I think with 16 cars, we're going to have some green flag runs. So we heard earlier someone mentioned pit road being a little tricky there. So how tricky is this pit road to get in and out of?
Well, pit road here, there's really no runoff there to get down the pit road. So, you know, you're pulling right out of the race line on the corner, right into the entrance of pit road. You've got to be down to 40 miles an hour pretty quick. So communication is going to be key. And, you know, you can't just make a last-minute decision to turn in and slam on the brakes. You'll slide right through and get a speeding ticket if you don't wreck and hit those barrels. Coming off, it's the same thing. You dump right off into a real sharp turn, too. And you need to not get out in the track and wreck somebody there. So you gotta keep it hugged tight against the wall and bring it around to the backstretch. And that's not always intuitive to hug that wall coming out of pit road. Usually you're trying to get up to speed and swing it a little wide. So pit road is definitely going to be a challenge here tonight. Slow pit road speed too, 40 miles an hour. Come off that track at 130 miles an hour and you feel like you're just idling at 40.
Yeah, and speaking of pit road speed, tires, and fuel, we already established pretty much it's going to be a tire game here tonight. We did hear from a couple of drivers, 15 to 20 laps on tires before they start really, you know, you're just wanting new tires. They don't have as much speed in them, but 85 to 90 laps on fuel is what they were telling us. So, you know, it's definitely going to be a tire game, but in the event we do go green flag run, you think, in your mind, you think you'll maybe pit earlier than that 85 to 90 window for fuel and get tires, or are you going to stick to the fuel window if possible?
Well, let's just say we go green. I think if you got 120 laps, you'll probably break that up on those tires a little bit. And, you know, so I don't expect, unless we get an early caution there around lap 30 or 40 that allows us to stretch it, I would think the plan would be to try to run roughly 60 laps, 50 laps, 70 laps, somewhere in there, pit, and then go again. That first caution is going to throw that all out the window. You know, as far as the tires, it's one of those tracks that it's so easy to overdrive getting in the corner. It just wants to eat up that right front. So we definitely need to protect that right front tire tonight.
Well, we'll be looking to see who can protect that right front the best. That's probably going to be who is towards front or in victory lane. But any quick shout-outs you want to give before we let you back down to the pits to get this qualifying started?
Absolutely. Big shout-out to my teammates for covering me tonight while I'm not here. John Ottenbacher, he had everything under control. They didn't even need me. Mark Walls, he got called in for the night shift tonight, so unfortunately he can't be here. And Sean Breisman got called in for the remodel job at home, so he's probably not going to make it either. So shout out to those guys. New leader for sponsoring the race, Highway new leader for the series, and Walls Beard Co. as always for being a big part of this thing.
Well, definitely, and we've got more drivers connecting in now, but we'll let you get back down to the pits. So with any luck, we'll see you in the top 3 here after the race.
All right, Charles. Good luck to you up there.
All right. Well, again, that was a quick word with Jeff. We got about 45 seconds left here, so we're going to get to the national anthem, and we will come right in with qualifying. It'll be already started, and some laps will be put in, so we'll be right back after your national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back here with qualifying. Qualifying is officially underway, so we are going to switch down there and see who else put times in now, as we are going to get to our main camera and put up our driver bar for you, as well as qualifying times. Gary Nichols, the 8, we've been talking about him, has had a little bit of bad luck lately, but look at him at the top of the charts here.
Yeah, Gary Nichols laid down a whale of a lap time of 21.511. Stabnow sitting second place with a 21.633. But look out, old Matt Henry in that 19 machine. He's rounding out the top 3 in qualifying for right now with a 21.542. And he's going to jump up to second on his second lap.
He is indeed. Andy Vogt, one that you need to look out for. Any week he's here, he definitely is looking to get a win. He was talking about how he needs to finish well, as he is currently 5th with a 21.822, but Brian Barnes is going to take second with a 21.528. So Brian Barnes not always going to qualify, but he is here today.
Yeah, Brian Barnes qualifying here today. It's a short track, so he might be a little bit worried about getting through the field. This guy, he typically likes to start at the back and work his way through the field, but here in a short track, man, track position is everything. So he's qualifying tonight.
He is indeed. So he's putting in a good time there. Brad Cornell is going to run currently in 8th place with a 22.065. But someone you want to keep an eye on right there, that's the number 9. He has a race win this season. I believe he has 2 wins, actually. That is the 9 of Corey Walters. We'll look to see. He's currently 6th fastest with that time of 21.825.
John Ottenbacher sitting in 8th place with a 22.025. This guy, well, I like to talk about him. He does a good job, runs a good, clean race. Very conservative driver, but finds a way to the front at the end of each event. So he's going to have some work cut out for him, as he's going to end up in the bottom half of this field.
Yeah, Carl Burke out on the track right now, just put in a 22.240 to put himself in 11th. David Applegate just now pulling out on to the track for the first time. Chris White sitting at the end of pit road. These two, we have watched them over and over, and they're notorious. They like to stay on pit road until everyone else is qualified, or at least most people have, and then kind of work their way through the field. And it'd be interesting, the number 90 of Scott Mann, we know he likes to make his way through the field, so I doubt we'll see him qualify here tonight.
Yeah, Chris White sitting on the end of pit road like we've talked about. Hasn't done a lap yet. Frank Harris hasn't done one. Brandon Weinberg. But David Applegate, he's out on track getting ready to clock his first lap. And it's going to be a... Wow, he's going to jump to the top of the charts with a 21.449.
Very interesting. He is the only 21.4 second lap, and I stand corrected. Scott Mann is out on the track right now. He was just waiting for everyone else to go into pit road. Right now, he is out on the track, so we'll see where he stacks up. We know he's fast. We know he can race fast, so it'll just be a matter of where he's going to stack up, as he is on his official first lap right now. So I have a feeling he'll be in the top 5 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, Scott Mann able to lay down some laps, except for he's bailing out of this lap.
Yeah, he is going to call it quits before he actually crosses the line. Chris White still sitting at the end of pit road. We'll see if Scott Mann is going to make it back out or not. Right now, neither one of them are. Both sitting at the end of pit road, getting ready to come back out, but so far not going to come out.
No, and watching Scott Mann as he rolls out of pit lane right now, gonna take another stab at it. As far as I know, he is on the clock right now. This would be the completion of his first qualifying lap, so he's got one shot at this.
Yeah, I believe that's how it works. Again, we'll see if he puts in a time there. It may not. Maybe if you do not complete that first actual lap, it doesn't count, because he has no time in for his fastest lap, and if it was, it should have counted there. It would have been a really slow time, but it's not. But regardless, he at least has one lap here, as he is going to put it in right there. So we'll see what it's going to be, and it's going to take him to the top with a 21.3 or 2.30, 0.2 faster than David Applegate.
Yeah, he really nailed that lap, and he had one shot to do it. And Chris White is out there as well. Chris White just turned his first lap, and he's going to wind up 7th with a 21.650.
Yeah, and he's another one that we know is very quick. It's just a matter of can he get it up there. That was a blistering fast lap for Scott Mann to put it to the top. So he ain't starting at the back this week. He's starting at the front. He wants to get up there and get this win. But again, I believe he does have some wins already in this season. So, he's definitely no slouch. We'll take a look here and make sure that is correct. We do know, obviously, the 35 has a win, at least one win. And indeed, Scott Mann did win on week 4, and he also won. Not win. No, he doesn't have a win. He qualified pole on week 4 and on week 6 at Kentucky and Phoenix, but he does not have an actual win here in the season.
Well, he'll be looking for his first win in the season. And he better hurry up and get on that. This thing's going to start winding down on him. He won't be able to pick up a win in the regular season. Is that what we call it?
Yeah, regular season before playoffs. And in the playoffs, you want to be in that top 8 to get into the playoffs. But once you get to playoffs, a win and you're in and you do advance. He is currently sitting in 9th in points. And if I recall, there is about a 3 or 4 car battle for that position to get into 8th place. So he is one of them. He's right there on the bubble according to how the points are playing out right now after drop. So he is in a very crucial spot, which could explain why he is qualifying here tonight and he's putting himself at the top. He wants to get as many points as he can.
And he's had some great runs. Been the victim of either poor strategy, lady luck. Any number of things have gone wrong while he's been out front, but this guy, be watching for him to be a dominant presence here tonight and consistently up front.
Yeah, he will be a force to be reckoned with. He always is, so I'll be looking to see he could get his first win of the season. But again, still Jeff Stabnow. Again, he said he had like 8 laps in this car. So he has not had a whole lot of practice, but he's sitting right now in 6th place, and we'll see. Frank Harris, excuse me, and Brandon Weinberg did not complete laps. So if they race, they'll be starting at the back of this field. So that's just going to be kind of up in the air if they do start or not. Sometimes some of these guys don't start, but we'll have to wait and see, as we have about 40 seconds left before we get to the race.
Yeah, it's almost race time. Some great qualifying laps. Scott Mann really, really laid it down. David Applegate jumped up there as well. And we got some strong runners in the middle with Jeff Stabnow, Chris White. and John Ottenbacher. Those guys all right in the middle and towards the back of the pack.
They are indeed, and notably not here tonight because of work and stuff like that. Like Jeff said, Mark Walls and Sean Breitzman, two very fast drivers, they are not here tonight, so that could potentially hurt their chances here, as they're going to lose quite a few points here in the point standings.
Yeah, and losing points never a good thing, but you know what is a good thing? Everybody that's joining us in YouTube chat, just want to say hello. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you guys stick around and enjoy some great short track action here at Richmond.
Yeah, definitely going to be a blast for sure. Lots of great racing. We're just moments away from the rolling off of the grid here. Once they start rolling off, we'll go through your Walls at Beardco starting grid. But that is, again, it's just a few moments away. Everybody is gridding so far. Frank Harris has not gridded, but it looks like Brandon Weinberg has, so he is going to be racing here tonight. We'll just have to wait and see if the 77 of Frank Harris does grid, or if he is going to sit this one out. But as of right now, it does not look like he is going to take to the grid.
Yeah, he's connected and disconnected a couple of times, so don't know what he's trying to work through, but I currently have him registered as connected, so hopefully he can make the grid in time.
Well, let's hope he does. Brad Cornell has not gridded yet either. He is one we're waiting on. So Brad Cornell and Frank Harris, the two left in there is Brad Cornell on the grid. Again, you only have a certain amount of time here to actually get on the grid, or they will roll off without you. You can't wait forever. So he's, not that he's deliberately waiting or anything, he's just trying to get his connection sorted out or something sorted out here. But as soon as that pace car rolls off, if he's not on the grid, they will start without him.
And he's got about 20 seconds to figure it out.
And
so,
he
yeah.
does.
There we go. Field set.
Well, that being said, they will start rolling off here any second now. Pace car is ready to roll off. So if you want KR, there they go. If you want to go through our first 4 rows of drivers, I will finish this off here before we get this race started.
Scott David Applegate are going to make up row number 1 with some spectacular qualifying times. Our Walls Beardco row number 2 is Gary Nichols and Brian Barnes. Row 3 is made up of Matt Henry and Jeff Stabnow. And row number 4 will be Chris White and Corey Walters.
In row 5 is going to be Andy Vogt and James Dalziel here in the Walls Beardco starting grid. Row 6 is going to be John Ottenbacher and Brad Cornell. Row 7 is going to be Kip Leo and Carl Burke. And row 8, rounding out your 16th driver here, is going to be Mike Peterson and Brandon Weinberg. And that will do it for the Walls Beardco starting grid, as they just got by the start-finish line. So next time by, we will officially get the green flag here to start this race. 120 laps is what we have remaining, as that is the total left. So 120 laps in this race tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a sprint, kind of a long distance, so we'll call it a medium-length race. And these 120 laps are going to click off fast, especially with the qualifying times as a kind of a measuring stick. But we got to go green flag racing first.
We do indeed, and there it is. Green flag is out for the first time here in your race. 120 laps on the books. We're on lap number 1. And it looks like the 90 of Scott Mann is off to a good start, but they're already mixing it up back here. They were 3 wide for just about 2 seconds back here. Everyone trying to find their place as to where they want to be here in this race. And nobody's going to push it as worn out as these tires will get in about 15 to 20 laps. They've got to get where they're going now.
Yeah, Brian Barnes, he qualified tonight, and he qualified towards the front of the field. Here he is. He's running in 4th place right now. I'm going to keep my eye on him, see where he ends up tonight. This is a fast driver who likes to work his way through the field. But he's decided to start from the front tonight, so we'll see if he can make it all the way to the front and lead some laps.
Yeah, and they're already starting to really spread out here as you have a real group going on right now. And Jeff Stabnow, 3rd place. You know, for someone who didn't get a whole lot of time in, he's moving his way as he's going to get by Gary Nichols to take 3rd. Once again, he's battling side by side with him. Again, what a good run for Stabnow, as he is going to take 3rd, and he's got his eyes set right now on that car right there, the 23 of David Applegate. And it looks like the way he's going, he may catch him pretty quick.
Yeah, Jeff Stabnow really getting aggressive here in these early laps, but gotta wonder what it's going to do to his tires. You said you had to protect the right front, so is he being super aggressive trying to get into a spot where he can just ride around, or does he want to try and lead the most laps here tonight and burn up that right front in the process, trying to chase these guys down?
Yeah, keep in mind he is currently 2nd in points with 300 to Chris White, who is sitting in 5th place right now. So he's trying to get points, I'm sure. But, you know, these tires are going to wear off so fast. You got to get where you're going fast. As long as you don't burn up that right front too terribly much trying to get by these guys, you know, once everybody's tires wear off, you're going to be on an even playing field again. Then it's just a matter of trying to hang on to it, as he has caught the 23. You just can't get by him. That's a whole different ball game around here. You can catch someone all day long, but getting by him is a whole different ball game, as he is kind of hit a brick wall when he's caught up to him, and now it looks like Chris White and Brian Barnes are reeling them back in.
Yeah, just want to do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. James Dalziel had a little bit misfortune. He started 10th and tagged the apron and spun around on the backstretch. Was able to keep going though, but he is currently last car scored on the track. But started 10th, now 17th, so he's got some work to do. He's going to be one of those guys hoping for a caution here tonight.
Yeah, he is. He's not currently a lap down, but Scott Mann has a huge 1.999 second lead, and he is reeling him in very quickly. He may put him a lap down here in the next 2 to 3 laps, as it looks like he is right there in front of him. You can see him. He's on the same front stretches here, or same back stretch, I might say. So he is in the same striking distance as we'll go right here. We can go on board with Scott Mann, and you can actually see right there how close he is. They're in the same corner. They're both in the same turn now in this back stretch. So that is not what you want to see this early in the race.
No, it's not a good thing for him, but he's got to dig deep, keep turning laps, and you know, hope for a caution here soon, either before he gets lapped or before the next car gets lapped, because either way he gets put back on the lead lap and gets caught up with the field.
Yeah, and note, while we were watching the leader there as he's running down the potential lap car, Jeff Stabnow took 2nd from David Applegate. And now it looks like Chris White did get by Brian Barnes as well for 4th. So Chris White's looking to get by David Applegate as well. The question is, we're going to keep an eye on Jeff Stabnow. 1.8 seconds behind, now 1.7. He's reeling in your leader. So looking at their last laps, 22.174 to a 22.069. Jeff Stabnow is actually the fastest car on the track according to the last lap.
Hey, he's really cranking off some good laps. And Chris White not too far behind in the lap time. In fact, Chris White is a little bit faster than he is right now.
Yeah, and Chris White is another one. He's always fast. So you got to watch out for him. Especially, we've seen him in the longer runs. It seems like he comes to life. He's not good at these short runs. Or he hasn't been. He is really a long green flag kind of driver. That's when he seems to come alive. He knows how to control these tires a little bit better than some other drivers, and he definitely does a good job of it. As again, James Dalziel going to go take it to the bottom, let these guys by. He's not going to battle with him, so a good job for him to do so. But Again, looking at the distance now, it seems like maybe Scott Mann has picked it up a little bit as Jeff Stabnow went back to 1.7. Now he's up to 1.6. So Scott Mann may be starting to feel the wear of those tires as we're 17 laps in, caution free.
Yeah, we're cranking some laps off right now, and you know the fall off is something to talk about. It looked like about 20 laps was equal to almost 1 second in practice. So what these guys are going to do in race pace, excuse my twisted tongue, what they'll do in race pace, not quite sure how much the drop off is going to be, but a good barometer is 20 laps is going to be about 1 second.
And 20 laps is about the window where you know, these guys are looking for a caution, but they don't want to be the caution. So that's going to be interesting. And keep in mind, for anyone that's just tuning in with us here tonight, 20 laps is tire wear. At that point, at 20 laps and beyond, everybody's coming to pit road. However, fuel window is 85 to 90 laps is what you can make on it. 120 laps, these guys, we talked to them, and they said if we can get to the 60 lap mark green, they're probably going to start coming in 60 to 65 laps and make this a one-stop race. So it's already going to be a one-stop race anyway, but a one-stop race for fuel. So can we get to that lap 60? That's going to be an iffy question. The longer we run on these tires here, the more likely we're going to see somebody spin and get into the wall.
Yeah, Scott Mann, though, this guy, he is a man on a mission. He's getting ready to lap the 14 machine of Mike Peterson. And Peterson's going to let him have it. Peterson's staying high, Scott Mann diving down low. Scott Mann has about a 2-second lead over Chris White in second place right now.
Yeah, he was actually up to 2.3, but that was before he caught the lap car Mike Peterson. Obviously, he didn't fight him too hard, but, you know, just catching him did slow him down just a little bit. So that did cost him some time. And also note, Chris White got by Jeff Stabnow, so he was a little faster. Maybe Jeff Stabnow wore those tires off a little earlier than Chris White did. So that could be the reason he got by him. But Jeff could also be, you know, experimenting early in the race. Hit those hard laps, see how many laps you can go before they really wear off in case we have a short green flag run here at the end of the race.
I like my dirt racing because I can just go out hard every single lap, and I've lost a little bit of a touch, a little bit of feel on a good pace here on the asphalt extended races. So I typically spend the first few laps experimenting, trying new lines, trying to figure out how fast I want to run, and then in the latter half of the race, man, I have to apply all the knowledge I've gained in the first half and you know, pretty much lick that stamp and send it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. And so we're going to look back here to David Applegate. We got a good little battle going on back here between David Applegate and the 23, the 9 of Corey Walters, the 8 of Gary Nichols, and the 19 of Matt Henry. Those guys are, at least for their second, though, they were really starting to mix it up back here for about 5th position. They've kind of settled it out now, but they were really getting 2 and almost 3 wide trying to battle, which is really scary with 26 laps on these tires. Because here in the next 30 laps, we'll actually be in the fuel window. Some of these guys will pit, and we are right now about 7 to 8 laps beyond what these guys really want to run on tires.
Yeah, tire conservation, you know, is going to start playing a role. We want to keep an eye on Jeff Stabnow, as you know, he mentioned preserving that right front, but he was really carving his way through the field, and I'm wondering how much he burned up on his tires there. So as this goes longer and longer green flag, how much time is he going to lose? As it looks like Brian Barnes starting to put some pressure on him.
He is indeed. We're looking here, 0.633 seconds behind him, now 0.566. So, yeah, right. He, excuse me, he is reeling him in very quickly. Now it's back to .666, so it's kind of fluctuating. It looks like maybe Jeff's better in one corner than he is the other, and vice versa for Brian Barnes. But Brian Barnes, he's somebody that sometimes we see him up at the front, sometimes we don't, but usually that's because he starts in the back, that we don't see him in the front early in the race. But these guys know that playoffs are coming, and they don't want to be in the back any longer than they have to. They want to get up here, get some points, get a win. So the strategy of this whole entire series is starting to change. Is right now it's about points. So you want to be up front. You don't want to do anything crazy that could cost you a last place finish.
No, you don't want to finish last here. And it looks like Mike Peterson is currently running 17th. James Dalziel has found a way around Mike Peterson. And we got 4 cars currently 1 lap down as Scott Mann just continues to set a blistering pace.
And he just got around the 77 of Frank Harris. So his next victim on his list is right there, the 18 of Brad Cornell. As we're looking, he is about 18 seconds behind. So with 21-second laps, he's not far behind. He will potentially be putting Brad Cornell a lap down very soon. And if he does, Kip Leo's just ahead of him, as well as Andy Vogt. So once he starts getting to these guys, we're really going to start seeing some cars go a lap down, as they're really bunched up here from about 10th place all the way down to 13th.
Yeah, it's it's Richmond. It's a short track. We're still in the 22.6 lap range here, so the laps are clicking off quick. And the thing is if you're a little bit off, you fall behind that much faster.
And you do not want to fall behind here. It's not like Talladega, where you can count on a big wreck happening to get you back on the lead lap, or if you lose the draft a little bit, you're gonna get lapped, but it's probably gonna be 5-10 laps down the road. Here, if you are off the pace, and especially if you're half a second off, and they're running 21-second laps, within 5 laps you're within a threat of going a lap down. And then it starts all over, and you're a threat of going another lap down, and it just repeats itself over and over. So you do not want to be off pace here. You've definitely got to be moving forward at all times. So it's just a matter of, the thing is, it's a fixed setup here in this series, so it's really all about how you're driving it. Pick a different line if you have to. Something you got to do that they're doing, that these leaders are doing that you're not, that you just have to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, the thing about fixed setups, it always drove me nuts when somebody was faster than me. What were they doing? And I would go back and watch it again and again, figure out what they were doing until I was faster than them. And that's what you got to do in these fixed setups, is figure out where someone is beating you and then just adapt to it, because that is the name of the game. You currently are not getting beat by somebody because they have a quote-unquote better setup. You're getting beat by somebody because they're driving the car better. So it takes a little bit of research sometimes, digging a little deep in that ego department, as Brian Barnes making a move on the inside of Jeff Stabnow here, as we got a change of position for 3rd place.
And we will take it fairly easy there, too. So we pretty much established Jeff Stabnow. Those tires are worn out. But jumping to the front again, we just saw the 14 as Mike Peterson. He's going to get passed again to put him 2 laps down. But we're going to go on board real fast again with your leader here. That is Scott Mann. He's right in the middle of things right now. So he's putting these guys a lap down. He did put Brad Cornell a lap down. Now he's trying to put Andy Vogt a lap down. Keeping in mind, Andy Vogt is in 12th position as you're running on board with him, trying to put him a lap down. And he's going to do it right here, possibly. And look in front of him, John Ottenbacher. John Ottenbacher is a very good driver. that we typically see towards the front.
Yeah, John Ottenbacher started 11th, currently running 10th, but he is in danger of going a lap down as Andy Vogt has been lapped. And so now John Ottenbacher, last car on the lead lap. And here comes Scott Mann like a shark out there in the waters, sniffing prey. He's picking them up and laying them down.
He is indeed. And while we have a green flag run here, 43 laps is what we're on right now. We are going to step aside for just a moment here and go crank it up style here. So we'll be back here in just a moment, right after we go crank it up in just a few moments. All right, we are back here once again. Little crank it up there for you here in the late night hours of MaxSpeedTV. It is currently 11:30 Central Time, but we are having a blast here in the racing thing. But we are back and currently on lap 48 of 120.
You know, one of the best things about being on late night MaxSpeedTV is I get to do this.
Indeed, got to keep that palate nice and moisturized, or whatever you want to call it, liquefied. I don't know what you'd call it, but you got to keep it nice and lubricated. There we go. That's the word I can't think of to say. But we were just listening in or watching it on chat, and we definitely agree. We're watching chat. Scott, man, he is on rails. That thing is a rocket. You know, the only driver I can think to compare him to is Ryan Newman, who was called the Rocket for a while. He was so fast. He was so good at conserving fuel, too. Not sure what happened to him, but he was really good at doing that. And right now, Scott Mann is the Rocket Man out there. As he is putting cars a lap down. He put the 51 a lap down here, or multiple laps down. He's going to put him a second lap down. But he's picking cars off and just putting them a lap down or multiple laps down like it's nothing out there.
Yeah, we're up to 9 cars on this lead lap. And, you know, Scott Mann not showing any signs of really slowing down. I mean, he's slowing down from his fastest lap time. But compared to the rest of the field, this guy, he's just straight up schooling them. He's got a 3-second lead over Chris White. And meanwhile, Brian Barnes in third place is 6.7 seconds now, 6.9 seconds behind Chris White. So we got quite the spread out going on right now.
And we look here back here to Carl Burke, who is the next car. He's the last car on the lead lap, 19 seconds behind. You know, when we looked earlier, we were talking about Brad Cornell in the 18 car. When he was about 18 seconds behind, he was within striking distance. You could see his car in the on-board camera there with the on board with the 90 of Scott Mann, and you're going to be seeing him very quickly as well. As there is the 53, and Scott Mann is in the same area as him. They're on the same turn 1 and 2 right now. So before long, there may only be a handful of drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, James Dalziel running 17th, first car to make a pit stop. He took 4 tires, has gotten back out there. So we'll see what he can do with those 4 tires. Hopefully he'll be able to make some ground here and not be the last car to finish tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely there. He's made his pit stop, so he's good to go. Actually, I stand corrected. 56 laps. He pitted 2 laps ago, so he is not good to go on fuel, I do not believe, unless he can squeeze it out. Well, I take them in. Never mind. We are corrected. The fuel laps are 85 to 90 laps. They were trying to get to at least lap 60, so he is indeed good to go on fuel. So we shouldn't see him back in unless we have a caution. He'll come in and get some fresh tires, but he is good to go right now. But he's 3 laps down, so he's definitely got his work cut out for him, especially with somebody like Scott Mann out on the track, just putting people laps down every lap.
Yeah, Scott Mann is carving up this field. He's currently chasing Carl Burke right now. Carl Burke really trying to start to hustle that car to stay on the lead lap. But, man, the way that Scott is driving, it is only a matter of time before he is eaten up by that 90 machine.
And what we do want to keep remind everyone out there, y'all can't see the times we can see. Scott Mann's last time, 22.9. Everybody behind him, 23.0, 23.2, 23.1, 22.9. So, you know, Corey Walters is in the 9 car. He's the only other driver out there running 22.9s. Everybody else is running 23s, except for Chris White, who just ran a 22.967. So very few cars are out there still running 22-second laps. Most of these guys are running 23s to mid-23s.
Multiple times I've watched Corey Walters turn in his laps, and he turns laps just as fast as Scott Mann, but then he is not out in front, so he'll have to check up or do something, have to deal with a car in front of him. But Corey Walters is really wanting to get to the front here, and he's doing a good job laying down some great laps. He started 8th and has made his way up to 5th. So if he can get some clean air, I'm wondering what this guy can do.
Yeah, and he's about to pass Jeff Stabnow in the 24. As Stabnow's doing everything he can, and he will indeed right there get by him as they're going to almost take it 3 wide. Jeff Stabnow tried to go up a little bit and then realized at the last minute John Ottenbacher was sitting up there in that 89. But again, keep in mind, John Ottenbacher is 1 lap down at the moment. So that is unfortunate for him. He's such a good driver to be a lap down. But also note real fast, Kip Leo is 1 lap down. Now Carl Burke did officially go a lap down. So nothing happened to Brian Barnes. He's on pit road, as well as David Applegate on pit road, and now Jeff Stabnow coming down to pit road. So 64 laps in, green flag pit stops have started.
They sure have. And so Brian Barnes is on pit road. He is getting away from his pit box with a 14.3 second stop. So now green flag pit stops are underway. What we need to have happen is everything needs to cycle through, as we got more drivers on pit road now.
We do indeed. Gary Nichols pulling on the pit road as well. Looks like John Ottenbacher, Matt Henry going to come down pit road. So everybody's starting to come down pit road. And there it is. It looks like Corey Walters coming down pit road as well. Now Chris White is going to make his trip down pit road. Everybody's come down so far. Notably, Scott Mann has not come down yet. You know, at this point, he's put so many guys a lap down, he can stay out. As 14 is into the tire or the water barrels there, but a caution does not come out. It was Mike Peterson back there. Caution is out finally. He hit the water barrels trying to get to pit road.
Yeah, so caution has come out. So now a lot of people are going to be trapped a lap down. And Scott Mann playing this strategy to his advantage here. He will be able to pit under caution. And right now everything's shook up. My timing screen shows that he is currently the only car on the lead lap. And so this is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. We're going to get lots of wave rounds for sure. but some great strategy here by Scott Mann, rolling the dice and staying out, and it's going to play out in his favor.
It is indeed. We're going to take a different look here, see if we can't get a different bird's eye view of this. As you're watching Mike Peterson in the 14, there he is. Let's go back just a bit more. Just coming here, trying to get to pit road. I'm not sure what exactly, if he was deciding he didn't want to make his pit stop, or maybe he decided he did want to take it. I'm not 100% sure, but he looked like he's committed, and last minute tried to change his mind and just hammered those water barrels there, as well as the cone, and backing it up is what actually brought out the caution. So I'm not sure. He looked like he was committed to pit road, and then later on decided he did not want to come down. So that is what brought out the caution. But Scott Mann is on pit road right now, but he's still being shown as the leader, as everybody else was a lap down.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting situation here as Scott Mann stayed out. And, you know, I was getting ready to wonder how long he was going to stay out, because he was going to start giving up a whole lot of time to everyone who pitted. But he was so far ahead, he had that option to stay out. And it has played into his hands. This is just exactly what he wanted. If he was playing Texas Hold'em, the river turned up all aces, and he had all eights.
Yeah, and what's, you know, kind of, it's not funny about it. We feel bad for Mike Peterson in the 14. He's a good driver, but the caution coming out, not on the track itself, the caution actually came out because of the pit stops is what caused it. Again, we were watching it there. Mike Peterson just was coming down pit road, and at the last minute, looked like maybe he decided he didn't want to commit to pit road, and ended up trying to pull out and just missed it, misjudged it there, getting into those barrels, and that brought out the caution. But looking here, you see Scott Mann is behind all these cars, but they're all on the tail end of the lead lap right now.
Yeah, they're at the tail end of the lead lap, and got some work cut out for them. But this was a very long green flag run. We're on lap 71, and we're experiencing our first caution of the night of a 120 lap event. So, yeah, that's going to happen when you get these long runs like this, and we might see this go out the rest of the way to the checkers.
Yeah, I did say it earlier. I thought we would have 0 to 1 cautions. So far, we are in my prediction area. If we have one more, I will automatically lose. But if we have another one, it's going to be, I think, for just a self-spin, somebody getting a little aggressive here in these closing laps. As we have 50 laps to go, going to be 49, 48 when we get the green flag here once again for the restart. But you know, we're getting into crunch time here again with over half this race done. Once we get into that 20-lap mark, people are really going to start amping up their aggressiveness. But the question is, how aggressive will they get if we stay green? Those are going to be some really old tires, like, you know, 30 to 40 lap old tires. When 20 laps in, they're completely destroyed. Yeah,
and, you know, the field is really shooken up right now. Carl Burke and that 53 machine, as we're going to go under a delayed yellow here. We're about ready to go green, but race control has thrown another yellow, so field's going to have to reset here. Yeah, everyone back there, they're trying to get sorted out. There's a lot of cars that need to get caught up to the field, thanks to Scott Mann, who pretty much lapped the entire field there and put them a lap down thanks to pit stop. So everyone was still trying to get up. You know, sitting here looking the way it looks like, even looks like the pace car is trying to get in line, as you know, they're trying to let the pace car by, but it really just looks like the pace car's driving in the race with them. As there he will, pace car will get ahead of everyone, so they're going to get lined up, and we'll get this race ready to go. And the caution's going to stay out, as the pace car never really got caught up, so the field having to go around once again, as we're experiencing a little bit of issues. as you can kind of see here, this is a weakness that iRacing has with the pace car not being able to reset.
Yeah, it does like to be a little finicky sometimes. On the plus side, at least it's not driving over the pit wall like it does on the dirt tracks. Sometimes it likes to do that at Lanier. So, you know, that's a plus side. It's not driving over the walls or driving over cars. But, you know, there it is. Caution coming again, as it looks like we should be one to go. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get a close-up on the pace car here. See where it is. There is the pace car. It is actually at the start-finish line, just past it. And the lights are also. All these guys have got to get caught up to the pace car and get in line before we can get this race started.
You know, I had a joke about the pace car being a Ford Mustang and always being in the pits, and it's escaping me right now. Yeah,
I'm sure it can't be good. Obviously, whoever's driving that probably needs to be fired at this point. This is a very interesting here. The lights are back on the pace car, so we are going to take one more lap around here before we get this. But everyone is behind the pace car once again. As again, we're going to have extra caution laps here. Not due to racing, though, due to a pace car that apparently doesn't know its job.
Yeah, it's probably because it's a Ford Mustang, if we're going to be honest.
Well, I might have to agree with that, you know. Typically, I wouldn't, but, you know, the way it's going tonight is the lights are back on once again. So, I'm not sure if the driver's not sure what it's doing, or if this race is going to finish under caution with 50 laps to go, a little over 50 laps to go.
Hey, all they're doing is they're trying to keep their caution count low. If they run yellow flag here from the rest of the way on out, it'll only register as one caution.
That is true. So look here, we've had one caution for 10 laps so far, but really only 5 of that should have been under caution. So very interesting here now, 11 laps, as we'll see the lights are off at the moment. We'll see if they come back on or if they are going to stay off. And we may be in some kind of glitch with the pace car too. iRacing has been known to do some funny stuff. But so far the lights are off, so we look to be good here to get this green flag.
Yeah, iRacing definitely has, like I mentioned, a weakness with the pace car not resetting, some things happening. So, yeah, it's interesting. But here we go. Scott Mann in control of the field.
There we go. Green flag is out. You might say, finally the green flag is out. That was really weird as a caution comes out once again.
Yeah, this is not good.
Yeah, I have a feeling that one may have been called by race control. There was still a lot of people that were not in the order, and some of this may have been race control. Some of these guys may not be in the correct order that they should have been. Maybe, you know, these guys, if they're not in the correct order, it is not on them. These guys know what they're doing. We've seen it week in and week out, so something is going on with iRacing itself here. That is doing this, and you know, we might try to get a word with Jeff, but he's probably trying to get stuff sorted out, so we don't want to interrupt him too much. Well, let's see if we can't pull
Corey. I'm gonna see about Corey Walters. Corey Walters, KR and Charles up in the broadcast booth. Got your ears on?
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Hey, Corey, real quick, I've watched you turn some great laps out here tonight. Tell us real fast a little bit about your car tonight.
Car's handling great. It's I just bought a Fanatec wheel and trying to calibrate it, and it for some reason it cut off, and I about wrecked Stambo doing it. I don't know what happened, but other than that, it's been a great race. Just, you know, trying to figure this wheel out. Yeah, the track's fast. Was having a good run until that little incident, and Now I'm 2 laps down for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but we're having fun out here.
Well, we are curious. You're on the track there. I'm not sure if race control is throwing the caution or if iRacing is having a fit here, but we've seen an extended caution to say the least. So you can listen in on radio control for race control and chat. Any insight as to what is going on out there?
Yeah, they keep throwing cautions to sort out the field, because right now I'm 2 laps down in 12th place, and I'm running 3rd in line. So something's going on here. We're not sure what. We're trying to figure it out.
We figured iRacing was doing something a little funky. That had to be the reason here, because we noticed some people weren't in the correct order, and that we just said it. We know you guys are not that bad at getting in order, so we figured something had to be going on with iRacing, not getting you in the correct order. But definitely big shout out to you. Thanks for clarifying with us what was going on. But hopefully iRacing will get their act together here, and we'll get back to racing here shortly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think it's just sorting out now, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we'll let you get back down there so you don't miss anything from race control, and we will hopefully get this thing started here in a lap or two.
All right, buddy. It's good talking to you. Thanks for doing what you do.
That was Corey Walters giving us some insight there, and I really like his paint scheme. This is number 9 cars, got Budweiser on the side, and he's turned some great lap times tonight. So hopefully he gets sorted out correctly. Somehow I don't know how this guy ended up 12th, but you know that's what happens when a caution comes out in the middle of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, and now it makes it a little more clear now that we know they're calling them to get it sorted out, but they're having to call it because iRacing is not doing its job. So that is the reasoning behind that. It's not them just throwing cautions. On the plus side, your tires aren't going to be as worn out. So we've had several under green flag or under caution, so your tires are not going to be as worn as they might be under racing conditions. And this is also going to save some fuel. Really don't need to anyway, but it will. But you know, it's just a different thing we're not used to seeing. Every once in a while, like we keep saying, iRacing does decide to be a little buggy as the lights are going off this time. We'll see if they're going to stay off. A couple of guys are getting wave rounds, including Corey Walters there. Looks like he's going to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Corey Walters, I don't know about lead lap, but he's still scored as 1 lap down now.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, he was 2, so he is a lap down now, as he's going to pull around to the back of this field. This is very interesting.
Yeah, so I think we can officially blame Scott Mann for this.
I don't know. We'll see. Pace car is off. Somebody, I'm going to stick with iRacing on this one, but there it is. Green flag is out. Well, definitely a lot of people going a lap down because of Scott Mann. We'll definitely blame that on him. But, you know, he's doing what he's out there to do, win a race. And to do that, he's got to pass people. In this case, put people a lap down, as he is already taking off once again. And he's looking to try to put people a lap down already.
Yeah, Scott Mann opening up a big lead here. Carl Burke running 2nd. And Brian Barnes in 3rd. Brian Barnes looks like he has gotten into the inside wall hard. Oh, we got one spinning on the backstretch.
I believe it's Andy Vogt spinning so far. No caution comes out. It looked like maybe the 51 of James Dalzell got involved in that too. Maybe he just avoided it. But Andy Vogt did get way out of shape and got that loose. But, you know, this time no caution. So we had an extended caution trying to get everyone in the correct order. And this time no caution. So that is definitely a good thing. We did not want to get back into that cycle of iRacing not knowing where everyone was supposed to be. But we're on lap 87 right now. 17 laps under caution. We've had 2 cautions. 34 laps to go is all that remains in this race.
Yeah, the laps are winding down. And James Dalzio, who we got to talk in pre-race with, once again, he has tagged that inside wall. He did everything he could to dodge Andy Vogt, and in the process, he managed to take out his left front with that inside wall.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to do. Is he is trying to regain back into position. He's got the 18 right behind him, Brad Cornell. Brad Cornell is actually 2 laps down. James Dalzio is 5 laps down, so that's not a battle for any position at the moment. Someone I expected to move a little further here, he's 1 lap down. That is Jeff Stabnow. So, as he gets into the 18 hard, but he somehow recovers from it. But Jeff Stabnow was up front. He was in the top 5. He's a lap down now. I'm not sure how he went a lap down, other than pit stops was what caused him to go that lap down.
Yeah, the field was, is the 8's going to run the 24 up a little high, but yeah, pit stops for sure really threw everything into a crazy tailspin of uncertainty and discombobulation, and the field has been well and truly shooken up, but somehow my man, John Ottenbacher, he's found a way to stay on the lead lap. He's currently running 6th.
He has indeed. The question is, how close is he to the leader? He's only 9 seconds behind, so he's definitely not in any threat of going a lap down yet, but that doesn't mean the leader won't get to him. But 6 cars on the lead lap right now. Matt Henry is the first car lap down in the 19 car, so if we get another caution, he would be the recipient of that lucky dog right now. Chris White is somebody that we look to see up front every week, and he's doing that just again here tonight. And we did kind of forget to do our normal thing here of picking who we thought was going to be the winner, so I'm going to go ahead and call my pick is going to be Scott Mann.
Oh, sure. Pick the easy one. Fine. I'm going to pick Frank Harris.
Well, you never know what could happen. We've seen some crazy stuff with cautions already, as iRacing doesn't want to put him in there. Actually, no, I'm actually going to go with Chris White in the 35. I think he may have something here tonight. He may be holding off. Scott Mann, nothing against him. He's led, just about every lap here. As we'll take a look, he's led 94 laps, so he has led every lap of this race. But, I think we're going to have maybe one last caution, and I think Chris White is going to try to make a run for him.
Yeah, Chris White, a solid pick here. He's got some work to do, about 2.5 seconds behind Scott Mann. So if he can figure out how to close this gap, so far Scott Mann has been the dominating car out here, but Chris White has been lurking behind him this entire time, always within striking distance, but not quite able to pull it close enough to put pressure on him.
Yeah, and it's sitting 2.533, now 5.66 seconds behind, so he's definitely right there. He is within the distance. Carl Burke, though, he's another one. 3rd place right now. Take a look here. Where did he start? He started in 14th. He's up to 3rd. So he has moved up quite a bit. He's going to be having a contender here. If we get a late caution and he comes and gets some fresh tires, if everybody else does, if not, he stays out with everyone else staying out. He may be somebody we got to watch here tonight. I really thought Brian Barnes would be a contender, but he has got heavy damage, so unfortunately I don't think that car is going to be a victory lane car here tonight after the heavy contact to both sides of that car.
Yeah, Brian Barnes really torn up right now, but he's still out there. He's soldiering on, and he's in 4th place, so as beat up as that car looks, he's still got a great run going.
He does. He started 4th, and he's in 4th right now. Excuse me. So he's right where he was, and somebody is smoking really bad down there. I'm not sure who that is.
Frank Harris. You know what? I picked him to win the race tonight, and he's gonna fail me.
Well, we have seen that a lot. You pick a car, and they end up wrecking. So,
I'm sorry, Frank.
I have been guilty of that myself. I was actually going to pick Andy Vogt. He told me not to because he says I picked Jeff and he wrecks. So maybe we are a bit of a jinx to these drivers. Right after you pick Frank Harris, he's on pit road with a blown engine. So
I do have to say, Frank Harris, I picked him because he's a 77. That's a number that I run quite often. And I just watched what happened to him. He got loose coming off of turn 2 and just obliterated the inside wall.
Well, he might have heard you picked him, and he just didn't want to make you right.
He committed driver suicide. I'm done. This is it.
Oh, that is unfortunate, Frank. I believe this is one of his first races. I don't remember seeing him too many times, but unfortunate end for Frank, though. He's on pit road. He might come back. We'll see. I seriously doubt it with that much smoke. His engine's probably pretty torn up. But keep in mind, we only have 18 laps to go here. And Scott Mann is back in traffic. And it looks like he's going to put the 51 of James Dalzell a 6th lap down here in probably about a half a lap.
Yeah, we got cars getting lapped here. Scott Mann has been out front as a dominating car all race long. He is bound and determined to get into victory lane. But Kip Leo, we haven't got to talk about him. That 16 machine, he's currently running 5th place. So a good run by this car. And for sure, one of those guys that benefited from everything that happened with the kerfuffle and the yellow flag extended caution period.
Yeah, definitely something going on there. iRacing just being itself. And the other one you were talking about earlier, that is the 89 of John Ottenbacher. You know, we always say we're going to mention this, but we will actually mention it. As you'll see it here in a minute. We'll stay with him for just a moment. There it is. That is the Ford Camry Mustang. So he has got a hybrid out there running a Ford and a Camry all in one car. So I'm not sure which one he prefers, but it looks like he couldn't choose, and he is running a hybrid out there.
It's quite the interesting nose artwork that he's got on there. He's got Ford, he's got Camry, and then he's got the Ford Mustang taillights. So, yeah, he's got a work of art for sure.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, other than that, it's a very nice looking Highway Walls Beard Co. Just can't really classify it as a Ford or a Camry or a Toyota, but either way, he's running 6th place right now, so whatever kind of car he's got there, it's working for him, as he's the last car a lap down, and he's really not in too big of a threat, but he's in the backstretch, just starting on the backstretch. Scott Mann on the end of the front stretch, so he's still not out of this race. If he was to make a mistake, he might go a lap down, but 11 laps to go, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Now the laps have really gotten short here. Real quick, some housekeeping duties. Mike Peterson is packed up, headed home. Frank Harris, we talked about him. He is on pit road getting that car serviced, but don't think he's going to make it back out there. And those 2 drivers are the only 2 that are currently out of the race.
Yeah, good news for Frank. They don't have the 6-minute cap like NASCAR does. If they did, he would be closing in on that in 2 minutes. But in 2 minutes, we'd probably be done with this race anyway if we stay green. Again, 9 laps to go at 21 seconds a lap. We're running about 3 laps a minute. So, you know, we're going to be done with this race in about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's winding down really quick here at Richmond. Like we said, the laps are going to click off fast when you're going around 21 to 23 seconds, anywhere in between. 120 laps ain't nothing at those kinds of times.
No, it is not. And for the most part, we're looking here, everybody is pretty spread out. So definitely not a whole lot of battling going on. And looking back here to Jeff Stabnow, who is now back in 11th. It looks like he's got some damage to the front right suspension of that car. He does. He scraped that wall several times, and the front of that car is pretty heavily messed up. So he's definitely been into the outside walls. He's going to get by the 51, but that's not for a battle. So again, a lot of heavy damage to the 24 of Jeff Stabnow.
Yeah, he's all the way back in 11th, as we talked about. Heavy damage. And, you know, he just really... all we can say is that caution came out, and it really shook this race up. Threw everyone in, like, complete chaos. And Jeff Stabnow, a big loser in that situation. But someone who stayed out in front of all of it, a pick in YouTube chat, the 90 machine of Scott Mann.
He has, and he's about to put the 18 another lap down. I'll take a look. The 18 is Brad Cornell. So he's about to put him a 4th lap down. And keep it in mind, most of these guys, if not all of their laps that are down, have not been because of pit stops or anything like that. Most of those did get their stuff back, but this is all because of the 90. He's literally put everybody's lap down, other than with the exception of maybe Frank Karras and Mike Peterson, who have had incidents on track, or sort of on track, halfway on pit road, halfway on the track. For Mike Peterson, all these lap downs were the fault of the 90. You can't really say his fault, but because of how fast he is here.
Yeah, he's really been so fast tonight. It is absolutely amazing how fast he's been out here. And for sure, he was able to stay out and run those laps while everyone started green flag pitting because of the lead that he had, because of how dominating he's been. And he really has put on a great show here tonight.
He has, and there it is, 1 lap to go here in your race. Again, only 1 lap remains here in the final race. Scott Mann out front, Chris White second, Carl Burke is in third. Those are your top 3 right now. Really no battles going on, so we're just going to follow the leader here as he is just about ready to cross it. And there he is. The checkered flags will wave. Scott Mann bringing home the win for the first time here in the Northwest Xfinity Series.
He was picked in YouTube chat. Both of us ignored him as the race winner. This guy getting it done in the 90 machine. Congratulations, Scott Mann, on your win here at Richmond.
Well, he definitely did a good job dominating the race. But that being said, we'll see if he's going to do any celebrating here. It looks like he's going to pull it right to victory lane, or to his pit stall anyway. So no celebrating for the 90. So interesting there. We won't see any donuts coming from the 90 camp today. But that being said, we're going to be right back. We're going to get ready for the post-race show. We'll be right back in just a minute or two with that post-race show and your top 3 interviews. All right, we are back here, ladies and gentlemen, with the post-race show. Again, what a race it was. Starting with third place here tonight. That is the 53 of Carl Burke. First off, awesome run for you, Carl. You definitely earned third place here tonight. And how does it feel to be sitting on the podium tonight?
Well, it's good to be back on. I've been having a run of bad luck as usual around here, and so yeah, it's pretty nice. And it was just kind of lucky too. I stayed out, and caught that yellow at the right time.
Yeah, definitely an interesting race there with that caution. iRacing not wanting to put everyone where they should be as far as position wise. Once we got that sorted out, we went back to green flag racing. A lot of green flag runs, laps here, whatever. Laps. There's the word we're looking for. So, how was it out there with these tires? And we know we established about 20 laps in, the tires were they were losing a lot of their speed. And you ran about 64 laps on that first run. So, you'll just explain to us how crazy were those tires out there just trying to control that car?
Well, I really didn't have too much trouble with it because I was running a steady pace. I was just trying to pace myself instead of trying to race hard, and it, that kind of paid off because I didn't have the loose coming off the turns like a lot of guys did.
Well, they do say slow and steady is the way to go, and it clearly worked out for you here to get a top 3 finish. Right now you're sitting 4th in points, 279 points, 65 out of the lead. So we have playoffs coming up here in about 2 weeks, I do believe, maybe one after this race. So it looks like you're going to be sitting good into the playoffs. We'll see how it all plays it out here in the next week or so. We're going to start calculating those. But going into playoffs, we know getting a win is critical. You win and you're in. So how have you prepared yourself any at all for that playoffs, or is it really just the same as every day? You go out there, do the best you can, and hope that you kind of get a win?
Well, yeah, I got to hope I kind of get a win because, I can run top 5 pretty steady every week if I stay out of trouble, but, I'm not the fastest guy, so I try to get them with, some strategies how I can try to get in front. But Scott's real hard to beat, and so is Chris. That's why I just let Chris by when he got on me there towards the end of the race.
Well, yeah, definitely your strategy paid off for you. A solid top 3 finish. So any sponsors, any shout-outs you want to give for that third place?
Well, just thanks to the series sponsors, and I want to say a good one for our team. It's always good to get a good team finish for Atlas finishers. And we're trying to give Wicked Chassis a run in this points thing for the teams.
Well, again, congrats on third place, and congrats on the team win as well. Finishing just one spot ahead of you, not by much though. In second place was the 35 of Chris White, and KOR, I believe you have caught up with him.
I have. I got Chris White here in the 35 machine. And Chris, real quick, want to mention you started 7th tonight and had to work your way up to the field. And tell us a little bit about starting 7th and ending up 2nd.
Well, 7th place wasn't what I was shooting for. I kind of slipped up there in qualifying. Kind of felt like the force feedback and my wheel went away a little bit, so it kind of screwed up my qualifying time. But I'll take 2nd. 2nd's a good finish, good run for us.
Now, the race, we had one caution, long green flag runs between those caution, and it seemed like the longer it ran, the more you wanted to try and catch up to Scott, but just couldn't quite do it. What were you kind of missing out there tonight?
On the longer runs, I think tire wear was eating us up there right front. When we finally did make a pit stop, that right front was pretty burnt up. So, with that said, I don't think we had anything for the 90. The 90 was just kind of on rails tonight.
Well, man, you had a great race. It was a pleasure watching you finish 2nd here tonight. And any sponsors, people you'd like to thank for this outstanding performance you had?
Yeah, first of all, finishing second is just the big picture. Getting these good finishes, staying up front in the points, going into the chase, especially next week, Talladega, it's a crapshoot. So it's good to be maintaining the point lead. Got to thank myself. Got MCA on the hood, Elite Star Marketing on the quarter panels. I got Seagate on the car too. If you're interested in hard drives, check out EliteStarMarketing.com. I got to thank New Leader, Highway, Walt's Beer Co. Thank them guys for putting the series on. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
All right, Chris. Well, once again, congratulations on your second place finish here tonight at Richmond, and we look forward to seeing you top of the charts at Talladega next week.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, Charles, I believe you caught up with our race winner, Mr. Scott Mann.
Well, I'm surprised still chasing him down. He was so fast, but just to start this off, I just want to say he may have started first and he may have finished first, but I still think he passed the most cars out on the track today, putting everyone a lap down out on the field. Definitely, they're going to have to take that car to Tech and find out what he knows, some secret about that car, because that sucker was on rails here. That is the 90 of Scott Mann. So first off, how does it feel to be in victory lane here tonight at Richmond?
Oh, it feels great. Finally get this one off my shoulders. I've had a good car all the year, just mental mistakes and bouncing off the wall. And started off last weekend at Bristol, got a good run, and that gave me some confidence. And I love Richmond just as much as Bristol. And I run it a little bit different, I think, than everybody. I can kind of conserve my right front, so I just wanted to put as many cars a lap down as I could, and that was an awesome car. It's a good night.
Definitely just a awesome run for you here. I am not sure. I'll take a look. I don't think anybody led any more laps than you here. I think you led every lap for that matter. Take a quick look. You did lead all 120 laps, so you definitely clinched the most laps led. But nothing else sums it up but dominating performance. Again, you got the team win for your team. We're looking at your stats here. You had been doing very good. We got the last couple of races here for March and April, a 4th place finish, a 3rd place finish, and now, of course, the win here tonight. So you were just getting steadily better every week, and finally coming home with the win. So that's definitely going to help. We saw you did have a pole at Phoenix and a pole at Kentucky. Just couldn't quite get those together there, but you did it tonight. So you already talked about having that momentum boost from last week. So if that gave you a little bit of momentum and you got the win here, what's a win going to do for you momentum-wise going to next week?
Like Chris said, Talladega is kind of a crapshoot. It's I ran good at Daytona. I was in second until kind of a netcode thing, I think, between me and Applegate put me in the wall. I think I would have finished top 3 there, but it's the flip of the coin at that track. So hopefully I can qualify somewhat up front, stay up front, and at least finish in the top 5, if not get a win. But I'm kind of a short track guy, so these bigger tracks, I qualify decent, but I run out of talent sometimes at these bigger tracks.
Yeah, and definitely short tracks are they're more fun. Talladega, Daytona, they, like you said, they're a crapshoot. It's kind of just luck of the draw. Hopefully you start good and hopefully you finish good. You never know. You could start first and end up finishing last. Just depends on what happens around you on the track. If you have a big one or anything like that. But we don't want to keep you here too late. It's just about 12 a.m. here in the Central Time. I'm not sure what time zone it is for you right now. Probably somewhere around 11, I'd imagine. But you definitely earned the victory here with dominating fashion. Any sponsors or just shout-outs you want to give for that win?
Want to thank you guys, MaxSpeedTV, putting on a good show. New Leader, Highway, Walls Beard Co., Jeff Stabnow, Mark Walls, all the guys that put on this series. It's and all the guys that race in it. It's a blast. And my company that I work for, Central Welding Supply. Good night, and appreciate everything you guys do for our race series.
All right, well, again, congrats on the win here. That was the Precision Application 120 presented by Highway Equipment Company. We only have 2 more pieces of business to take care of here for tonight. We only had 17 drivers here. We didn't have what we're used to. Used to around 25, 30 drivers, so a little bit shorter field, but a smaller track as well. So some of these guys just don't particularly care for the shorter track. Some of them were actually stuck at work or stuff like that. So that didn't contribute to that. We'll be back to normal next. We'll be back to normal probably Thursday night. But that being said, KR, you want to run through our unofficial results here for us? Since there's not too many, we'll just won't split it up here tonight.
Man, our winner, Scott Man, dominating performance. Started first, finished first, led the most laps, got the most points, did everything he needed to do here tonight. He is your race winner, that 90 machine, Scott Man. Meanwhile, Chris White, the best of the rest, finishing second. He is going to be happy about that because he felt he didn't have anything for Scott Man. Carl Burke going to wind up 3rd place. 4th is going to be Brian Barnes with a beat-up machine. John Ottenbacher, that guy, I tell you what, he finishes 5th place here tonight. Top 5 for him. Kip Leo's going to be 6th. Gary Nichols winding up 7th place. Matt Henry is going to be 8th. And in 9th, David Applegate. He started 2nd, had a rough go there, and ended up 9th. But overall, not a bad night for him. Corey Walters going to finish 10th. Had a great run going. We got to talk to him in the race. Had some in-race chat with him. But a little unfortunate when that yellow came out for him. So here he is, 10th place. And Jeff Stabnow, the first car 2 laps down. He will be 11th. 12th place will go to Andy Vogt. Brad Cornell will be 13th. 14th will be Brandon Weinberg. 15th will be James Dalzio, who we talked to before the race. Frank Harris, my pick for the night, who died the moment I picked him, finishes 16th. And Mike Peterson will round out the field in 17th place.
And that will do it for the unofficial race results. Before we sign off for the night, we want to give a big shout out to all the sponsors, of course, on the MaxSpeedTV side of things and the racing side of things, starting with MaxSpeedTV, of course. Walls Beard Co. For all your beard products, for all you guys out there that need to take care of those beards, check them out at wallsbeardco.com. SimSpeedShop.com. If you need a button box or an e-brake for you rallycross racers out there, check them out at SimSpeedShop.com. HomeNet Hosting and PC Repair. We have a special offer going with them. Make sure you mention that you heard about it on MaxSpeedTV, and you can get 1 month free of web hosting, and you can also get all those fees waived to get you up and going on their servers. Elite 7 Racing, they are the official dirt team of MaxSpeedTV, so make sure you check them out at elite7racing.com. Ohio IndyCar League, they are not just taking Ohio club members anymore. We actually broadcast that league here on MaxSpeedTV, so make sure you check them out at facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League and get all the information to get into that league for some great IndyCar racing. And last but not least, on the MaxSpeedTV side of things, iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Make sure you check them out. They are your sim race broadcast graphics source. Check them out at ibog.co. On the racing side of things, Highway Equipment Company, they are the title sponsor of this series. They have 2 divisions. One of those is Highway. Make sure you check them out as well as New Leader. Both of those companies can be found at highwayequipment.com. And of course, once again, Walls Beard Co. They are the title sponsor for the Truck Series on Thursday night. So make sure you check them out for all those beard products at wallsbeardco.com. That will just about do it here. KR, any final words before we sign off for the night?
How can you have final thoughts and not mention Scott Mann's dominating performance here tonight? Nope, can't do it. Scott Mann, spectacular drive tonight. That guy, he was out for blood. He was out for victory lane, and he pulled it off in spectacular fashion. And some great racing here at Richmond. One caution for a very long time, as iRacing has some stuff to work on. We all know that. But yeah, some great racing outside of that. And man, Scott Mann left a dominating performance. I'm going to dream about this race tonight.
That was a race to dream about. Before we sign off, we do want to remind everyone, if you have not, please hit that subscribe button to MaxSpeedTV. We're getting close to 5,000 subscribers. We will be doing some kind of money race for drivers and money giveaway in chat when we get to 5,000, so make sure you hit that subscribe button for that to be notified of all the great racing, and as well hit that thumbs up if you have not for this race. If you liked it and you stayed tuned for the entire race, we definitely appreciate that. But on behalf of the Northwest Xfinity Series and MaxSpeedTV, we will see you at the next race, which is actually tomorrow. Will be the Nork iRacing Series, as that is the only race I believe we have going on tomorrow night. So make sure you stay tuned in that. Rudy Cummings will be broadcasting that. And again, have a safe night, or in this case, early morning, and we'll see you at the Nork race.